Let me just say this, okay, while I got the platform. For me, I first got woke when I seen Terminator.
Cindy, I'm gonna be around you a lot. Days, nights, weekends, holidays.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can. I'm gonna hang out with you until the end.
This incredible body and a pair of titties make you want to stand up and
Calm him down.
I will.
Help him. Okay?
I will.
Don't screw him up this time.
I don't want you.
Letting it all hang out. She's a black house.
What the hell is going on? What the fuck did I do wrong? Tell me!
Just can't stay out of trouble, can you?
Some say that it's a code sent to us from God.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's just kid stuff. Check this out, okay?
What the fuck is it? What the fuck is going on?
It's like they watching you, and you think you watching them. That's what they do. So you got Bobby Digital, he here, but he not. That's Tupac Coachella, you know what I'm saying? And he in the, you see?
I would like to bring up the fact that, to me, Terminator 2 is the perfect action movie. Like, like, even now, I've watched this movie hundreds of times, no doubt.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
And, like, it's still absolutely intense and hypnotically, like, action-packed throughout the entire fucking movie. It's just set piece to set piece to set piece to set piece, linking via like, oh, here's an explanation, here's an explanation, here's an explanation, and at the end of it, it's like also an emotional roller coaster. Like,
yeah,
what?
Yeah,
and also like the most badass female character of
ever.
Like only equal to Ripley, essentially.
Yeah,
like
I would say, like one of my notes was it's insane the jump that they made in between Sarah Connor 1 and 2. Linda Hamilton just
doesn't even look like her.
No, it really
looks
doesn't.
Like two different people.
Yeah,
and it's great. She looks like Psych Ward ripped.
Yeah,
like like she looks like she be able to pull all that shit off.
Right. Yeah. I like watching it this time. Like, I love Ripley. She's awesome.
Yeah.
And I mean, she does fight fucking xenomorphs, which I don't know which one I would rather fight if I had to fight one. A xenomorph. I think I'd rather
Terminator,
go with the Terminator
because there's no acid.
Yeah, there's no acid. The acid,
the acidy
spit fucks me up.
Acid's rough.
Yeah, and they're fast. Terminator. Well, aside from T-1000, like T-1000 is like Jaws. Like that motherfucker is like laser focused. Like, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah,
like he doesn't stop. There's nothing to stop him other than molten lava.
Yeah,
but,
and a grenade.
Yeah. But anyway, like I don't know. I think I would rather fight a Terminator. But I still feel Sarah Connor's a bit more of a badass. Horrible parent. Terrible parenting skills.
I would argue.
Parent.
That's actually my debate point. Is that like her kid is supposed to be the savior of mankind, so she's doing everything in her power to protect him, and also she's the only one willing to fucking spearhead any of the shit to get anything done in this mission. So,
and it goes to show how good the writing and acting is of Edward Furlong and her, because like the scene whenever they bust her out of the psych ward and they're, he's in the back of the car and she goes to give him a hug, but he goes to give her a hug and he realizes she's just checking him to make sure he doesn't get shot. Yeah. It's like so heartbreaking because like you see that little kid going like, oh, I just want to love my mom. And she's like, you're an idiot. And then it's like, God, woman, like, don't do that. It's so brutal. Like,
but it's so beautifully mirrored at the end too, because that's how like in that moment when fucking T-1000's coming around the corner as her, he's like caught off guard for a second, but immediately is like, oh, my mom wouldn't be a pussy.
Right.
Yeah. Like clearly it's not her.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah. And then fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say. It only takes her almost slaughtering an innocent, well, kind of innocent
innocent
family.
Still innocent.
Up to that point.
This isn't Minority Report.
Yeah, they can't know.
Yeah, it's like, it takes her almost slaughtering a whole innocent family for her to be like, oh shit, I'm a horrible mom. I gotta give my kid a hug.
But she also
tell him I love him.
She didn't kill him.
No, exactly. She
Good
still
mom.
she's
got him killed.
Got
him killed like 10 minutes later.
Look, arguably, his choice to be a fucking technology guy is what got him killed.
Those cops busted. Like, I understand the level of the cops. There's Terminators. Like, there's people in this building
killed cops
that have killed,
but
whole
they don't.
Police stations.
They don't know that they're Terminators. They just think it's a dude.
Yeah, and they walk in. The only person they see is not the guy fitting the
not
description.
even remotely the guy.
But it's a black guy with something in his hand.
That's true.
Yeah, and then he, poor guy.
This is LAPD. Come on.
Yeah.
You're right.
They might have planted that bomb on him.
That's the most realistic part of this entire movie. Let's be honest.
Actually, they left him alone, so I don't know if it
is. I would say, I don't know. I've always gone back and forth. I mean, they're both of the characters of Ripley and Sarah Connor are badass.
Yeah.
But something about Sarah Connor is just so fucking tough.
I think it is the fact that she's so much of a mom that she's just in tiger mode forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that.
Like it's about the mission of protecting her son and protecting the world so that her son, she's like I said, she's the only one that takes this shit seriously.
Right. Well, I feel like the first half of the second movie feels like I'm not protecting you because you're my son and I love you. I'm protecting you because I'm protecting humanity.
Right.
And then there's a shift and I think it's in the back of the car that you're talking about where she kind of and she says it I love you. Starts to embrace him. There's all right, now I am protecting my son, but obviously the mission to save humanity is still afoot. Very important. Yeah.
But it's unreal the transformation that they had her go through from the first one to the second one. And it made me, at the end of the first one, she still has a level of innocence to her. Mm-hmm. And
very much so.
She's talking into the recorder thing, and she still feels like, okay, I got this, but I'm not crazy yet. And then you meet her in part 2, and she's completely radicalized.
And I've never with fucking cartels and shit.
But what I was getting at is I've never watched the Sarah Connor Chronicles. I don't know what any of that storyline is. So have they ever touched on what the fuck she goes through in between 1 and 2?
I haven't watched Sarah Connor Chronicles, but I have read the books, and they bring it up a couple times. Yeah, she was running with fucking banditos and fucking
it just feels weird that she jumps into organized crime.
Well, no, it's because at the end of it, she's like,
I gotta learn the rope somewhere.
Yeah,
it's gonna end anyway.
100% that. Where she's like, I have to fucking go, and I have to. Kyle's dead, and he taught her a little bit that he could in the 72 hours that they were hanging out. Yeah. So then she's like, "Where do I go to fucking
make a pipe bomb?"
Yeah, she's a fucking waitress. It's not like she has any survival skills.
Right. And also, I'm assuming that she's on the run for the police thing, and also the fucking here. Okay, so here's speaking of the police thing. Wasn't the psychiatrist dude at the police station when Arnold killed all those cops? Or did he leave?
I can't remember.
Right
I think
before?
he left right before. I think he was I think he walked through the lobby, walking out as Arnold was walking in. I think.
Okay. So that's okay. So it gives it a little bit more leniency, but
Yeah, you would think he would remember.
This dude showed up and killed an entire fucking police station.
Yeah.
You're aware of that clearly, and you're still like, oh, she's clearly crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What?
Well, I mean, it is a pretty far off
Well,
story.
he thinks she may have been a part of that, right? Like, isn't his assumption that she could have been involved in that? Doesn't he allude to that a little bit? I don't know if that's
I might have missed that part.
I think he was just, stuck on robots from the future.
Yeah. But I think in the second one, I think
this lady's crazy.
In the second one, he kind of alludes to, I think it's when, it's the cops say it over the radio when they're on the run and saying they're like, hey, and she's with another man who's, is
the suspected of
yeah.
That's right.
So yeah. Okay. I had a hard time getting that one out. Thanks for the patience, guys.
we found it.
Appreciate it.
It's Christmas, man. You're good.
My favorite. I only have a couple notes from the first one. It's mainly just Michael Biehn's fucking dope. I want to see him in everything still.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm so upset that he didn't get more fucking roles around that time. But I'm super stoked that he's like started getting stuff again.
Yeah. He's amazing. And what's funny is I don't know if I even saw the first one before I saw the second one. I remember seeing the second one as a kid.
Yeah.
And
you saw the first one first?
Oh no. I'm saying I saw T2 in theaters when I was like,
fuck you.
Yeah, mom took me when I was 6 or 7.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I was probably that age when I saw it, but not in theaters. I definitely just remember my parents watching it, and then
it fucked me up.
Yeah,
I don't know if I saw it in theaters, but I saw it young.
Yeah, especially I mean, two things that were burned into my head as a kid from the second one is him cutting his arm off and that whole scene. But the nuclear explosion, I think, was the main one that was just like, that's just real? Like, what the fuck?
It's just such a fucking insane, like...
I had that, and then, like, in the early mid-90s, like, all the Christian hysteria of, like, the world's going to end in the year 2000. Jesus is coming back, and God ended the world the first time with water. This time he's going to end it with fire. And the only thing I kept thinking of is, oh my God, Terminator 2, that's going to happen to me.
Yeah.
I'm going to,
Fuck. And it's called Judgment Day.
Yeah.
They fucking knew.
Yeah, they knew.
Terminator knew the whole time.
I mean, I think there's a lot of issues that comes with the internet these days in 2024. But if we would have had a little more internet back then, I think we would have been better off. Just like, because like that shit, just you're right. The way you just articulated that is perfect because you had that Christian hysteria, and we had all these horror movies, and we had no internet to fucking like, I don't know, confirm like, just simple facts and just be like all of these, like it just was so terrifering.
Yeah,
everything was so terrifying.
But in some ways, it made it more fun because now the terror is too real.
Yeah.
we were able to be scared by fake stuff. Now we got to be scared by real stuff.
The panic of Y2K was,
oh my God,
when I look back at that, I remember my mom and I was like, what, 13? No, 14, about to turn 14. Maybe 50, whatever. And like, I remember watching the clock count down the last 10 seconds.
Oh, yeah. It's about to happen, guys.
And we were like, what's going to happen?
It's about to be Terminator 2, Sarah Connor on the fucking playground fence.
Oh, no.
And then like,
all the computers just turn off, but then there's a wave of fire out of them for no reason.
For no reason, yeah.
It was like, as soon as it hit midnight, everyone thought that it was just going to be lights out. Done.
Because the computers were going to think it was 1900 instead of...
Fucking what? Like, fucking what? And like...
Yeah.
And I can imagine anybody born after that time period who learns about that just sits there and is like, what?
Yeah.
Like, that was legit. It was on the news. Best Buy had fucking stickers.
Having to explain it to my like teenage relatives or my interns has been always a fun thing talking about it.
I feel like minutes after the clock hit midnight, we're all just like, all right, we're good.
Okay. I think
calendar in 12 years, dude. It's gonna be all that one's gonna be real. I swear.
It was like, oh, that was dumb, but yeah, definitely the Mayans.
So fucking stupid.
Yeah. And any of you see the Y2K movie that just came out recently?
No, I haven't.
I'm kind of curious to.
Me and Keith have been like, oh, we're gonna go, and then we keep having to push it back for reasons.
We were gonna go this past weekend, and it's already out of our local theaters.
Oh, fun!
Really? Wow. Space for Mufasa and
there's a
Sonic,
weird time for them to put it out, though.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it'll not even have digital quick.
Yeah, but to not even maybe to capitalize so that you could watch it at home for New Year's.
Right. Maybe, it might hit next week.
Be smart.
I've seen it like happen that fast. But,
yeah, I mean that's what they did with Substance essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
put it out that quick so we could watch it for Halloween.
Yeah,
thank you, movie.
But yeah, that going back to what you were saying about T2 and the action, to that helicopter chase scene.
Oh my god,
is fucking unreal. Like every time I watch that, and in one of my notes, I made like watching it and going, there was a dude who was going straight towards an overpass, goes up and then nose dives down and then levels off behind a fucking semi. Like
insane.
What? Like
insane.
You just don't. I mean, and then I started thinking back at like, you know, the Marvel films, and there's car chases and that in that genre of superhero movies and stuff. But like watching,
so much of it's CG at this point,
right? And like that's what I was getting at. It's like Terminator 2 has so many car chases.
Yeah.
And well, you just made me curious about what the budget was. I had no idea for the two movies.
Yeah.
First one is 6.4 million. Second one was 100 million.
Jesus Christ.
100 million for what year?
1991.
Yeah.
That's a fucking
they had
lot
to create
of money.
an android out of liquid metal, so I'm sure
that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of research. That's why it takes so long to make it.
Which he wanted to do in the first one, but he said that they didn't have the technology for it, and he just decided not to have it.
That's that's what he does. That's why he created Avatar. He wanted to make that movie for like 20 years, and they're like, we don't have the technology to make this movie. And he was like, well, then I'm going to fucking work on it. And when I make the technology, I'm going to make the movie.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Before we get too far away from the helicopter scene, how many of you have noticed that he has 3 arms when he's fucking flying the helicopter?
Really?
I think I read that somewhere, but I didn't notice it this time.
He's got one arm coming out of essentially his crotch, flying it, and then he's reloading and shooting with his other 2 hands.
So that's nuts. Not an arm. Yeah, Derek's right. That's nuts.
That's nuts.
Let me use my liquid metal dick to steal this fucking chopper, bro.
I didn't confirm.
He's capable.
Liquid metal dick.
I've always come across the fact that he doesn't blink when he shoots, and I think the same thing with Arnold. But does he blink at all in this movie? I don't know if I've ever seen T-1000 blink.
No,
Robert Patrick,
I don't think so.
I think made a conscious decision to never blink whenever the cameras are rolling. Yeah. He also underwent a ridiculous cardio regimen so that he could run as fast as possible without breathing out of his mouth.
What the fuck?
Yeah, they had to slow down the cars because he was chasing up the car, catching up to the cars.
He caught up to Edward Furlong on his dirt bike pretty easily.
That's
but he trained himself to breathe through his nose so it would look like he wasn't actually like worn out or anything.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. The commitment to the bit.
Yeah, that dude was a fucking monster.
Yeah, dude,
really. What's funny is I watched I saw the first one after I'd seen the second one multiple times. Every time I watch the second one, it's just so many like different moments that resonate because I remember seeing it so many times as a kid. But when I finally watched the first one, I was like, oh, this one's amazing. Clearly like a slasher movie. Mm-hmm. But then every time I watch the second one, I'm like, this one's also still very much a horror movie. Like the elevator scene where he's like trying to stab through the top.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty much anything the T-1000's in, like stabbing the security guard in the face.
He was fucking horrifying.
Yeah. Yeah. Your foster parents are dead. Like this is still
that's
a horror
kills.
movie.
That's one of the most that's where we're at. That's what movie this is. Is like he's straight murdering people with no safety. Like
no regard whatsoever.
Through the fucking milk carton. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
That part always like burned into my brain. Just like the nightmare sequence with the bomb. Fucking
so much of this movie is so much of my notes are just this, where we're like, this is so iconic and like part of like every fucking thought of my life. Like
for sure, dude.
Movie's just like etched into the
it's nightmare fuel. I mean, even like as he's just hanging there off the blade and the camera slowly pans, and that's when his hand decides to it's like a wet sound when his hand falls.
And
like so the hand was there for a while until the camera pans, right? So he's just still holding the milk carton. And there's something about that is just so fucking gross.
That's one thing I noticed really, really well in this watch through is how good the fucking Foley for this movie is. Like that, like anytime something's wet, it sounds so gross.
Yeah.
In the fucking the last in the Foundry fight, like every hit in that fight sounds so fucking heavy. Like it really feels like they are two pieces of metal beating the shit out of each other.
Well, just like them in the hallway, like the iconic moment of the gun coming out of the roses and shit is still one of the like, sickest scenes. But then when they're slamming each other through the bricks, it's
there's so much weight to it.
Yeah.
Like they legitimately look and sound like they weigh as much as a metal fucking robot would.
Dude, Arnold is such a fucking specimen. And he was
it really is.
He was I mean, it makes sense because in '84, god damn, was he fucking jacked.
One of my first, I think my first note in T2, because I watched T1 and then T2, was how much smaller he was in T2 than the first one.
Well,
that fucking first
I know
shot
that's
of him,
stupid for me to even say.
It's
because
7 years later.
But
still
he's
so big,
still giant.
Well, he retired from bodybuilding in 75.
Right.
And then decided to compete one last time in 80 for Mr. Olympia. Controversial win because they're saying he was much smaller. Like he shouldn't have won, but the judges were like, you're Arnold, dude. Like, I'll give it to you anyway. So people were pissed. But then, 4 years later makes the first Terminator. And
that's wild.
He played that role in the first one so brilliantly. And of course, it's only he only has like 14 lines, I think it is, isn't it?
Right.
Which for whatever reason, like obviously two completely different characters in the first and second, which goes without saying. But still, in the first one, he's brilliant in that performance. I mean, it's so believable. And
because I would be shocked if it wasn't difficult to act as robotic as he is in the first one. Like in the second one, he's a lot more like, I don't know, he's a little looser.
There's some of the ways he runs or gets up. There's more human elements in it.
I think that probably comes with him just being a little older too. And like, you know what I mean? Like when he was just young and
plus it's also just that the second movie moves at such a much faster pace. So I think a lot of it is probably like maybe at the speeds he needs to do this shit, you can't, you know what I mean?
And the second one they definitely use, and you know he talks throughout the whole second one. So I kind of chalked up a lot of his personality and the choice of him talking more is just obviously he was reprogrammed, and they also touch on the fact that he learns more as he goes and like is adapting, and obviously has a completely new mission now. Where before his mission was just destroy, now it's protect the child, where he's going to have to talk to this kid, and so it's
And I know he's been vocal about whenever he read the script, and there's a lot of people who don't like his character in T2 because he's the Terminator and he doesn't kill a single person in the fucking movie.
I mean, and I kind of get that.
For sure. But totally. But
I have a little bit of that, but it does still it still makes sense.
It's
though.
it's not a plot hole.
It's
not a plot hole at all.
Right.
It's supplemented by having T-1000 take over the role of Arnold's character in the first one.
Honestly, the only point where I'm really like about it is in the fucking building scene, because I kind of want to see him shred a bunch of people with the Gatling gun and like people go flying when the explosion.
Nice.
Yeah, like it's pretty shitty to have a Gatling gun, to have Arnold at a window, elevated position, with a sea of people with a Gatling gun, and no one gets shot.
Is this?
I do still really. I just still really like him just popping everyone in the knee.
I do love it. That is the fun part of it, though. Is like, he's Gatling gunning all their cars in half, essentially.
Right. But what it opens the doors to be more creative and add a level of humor that you don't see coming in that kind of a movie. But also, I understand like them making him the way that he is and not killing people. It allowed for more interactions between John and him. And then you see the movie through a kid's eyes. Right. And then you learn so much about the backstory of his mom through John, because now John has somebody to finally talk to.
Yeah.
And it creates this like relationship that is really, really fucking good. To like watch.
And it's also like you see John's character and the way that he's written is so accurate to that's what any of us would have done as a kid, right? Like, I have a fucking killing machine robot. That's dope. What can I do with it? Oh, fuck, it's gonna kill someone. Fuck, no.
Right. I'm gonna be responsible for this thing killing somebody. Shit.
Like,
Yeah, we can't do that.
Well, and that's why you get that payoff of him stopping his mom from killing Dyson, too. Because if he had spent the whole movie watching his father figure that he helped create and send back murdering people to protect him, then he can't really say shit to his mom murdering somebody else to protect humanity.
Yeah.
But I feel like also it makes the ending hit that much more. It's more of an emotional, because like if he was just fucking murking people the whole movie and killing people, like seeing him die would have been like,
we probably got to get rid of this too.
If he's fucking, if he's fucking killing everybody, the thumbs up at the end just doesn't hit as hard.
I'm a murderer.
It's just morbid.
Well,
See ya.
It makes him a lovable.
I deserve this.
Bye.
Told everybody's family I said sorry.
Whoopsie.
I do also think, obviously, they gave Arnold way more lines and personality in the second one because he became such a huge fucking star between the first one and the second one. Like I was checking his resume and I was like, was it easy for him to play a robot? Because he wasn't a very experienced actor and was just like acting very wooden, but he had done both Conan movies already before he did Terminator. But then he did,
which he doesn't talk
Cop, Twins.
He doesn't really talk that much. No.
Yeah, he doesn't talk much in Conan either. So he'd become a better actor, but he'd also just become this huge star. And if you're like, we got the sequel to Terminator starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, and you show up and he still only has like 5 or 6 lines.
His career from Conan to Terminator was only like this. And then to think about that guy's career from Terminator 1 to 2 is like, I mean, it's everything that he's iconic for happened in those handful of years. It's fucking nuts.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's why it's shocking that they got him back for the sequel, because he was probably at the level of success that he was like, no, I'm not doing any bullshit sequel. But it's because they got Cameron and this incredible script. I'm sure that he was like, absolutely.
It's also because,
but how do they keep getting him back for all the other sequels? Is what I wonder.
Well,
you're better than that.
I just saw a thing that was saying that Arnold himself was the biggest proponent of getting the sequel made. Like he was the one that was always like, we could do a second one of this. There's a whole world we could explore.
I was curious if he had a lot of creative say in that movie, because it feels like he might have.
The second one, I would imagine.
I'm interested because he was the one that was pushing for it, but then also Cameron was like, I want to be on this so that it doesn't go haywire.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So, I wonder.
Well, I know for the first one, his Arnold's agent was telling him not to do it because he's like, you do not play a villain. And he's like, no, like after when he read it, he's like, I'm fucking playing this for sure.
Yeah.
He's literally the only person that it would have worked for.
It was supposed to be O.J. Simpson.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which James Cameron still hasn't confirmed. He says that's bullshit, but I think
really?
Cameron says it is, but I think there's other people I don't know who, but I know it's an online rumor that people swear by, myself included. Like, I want to believe that for sure. But from what I've heard, James Cameron has always denied that.
I think Arnold has even confirmed it.
I think you might be right. I think it's come from
I don't know
credible
if he was
sources.
Locked in, the camera tested or anything, but from what I understand, the studio wanted O.J. Simpson.
Right.
Here's the thing: he would have been so much more fitting with his MO if he was fucking T-1000.
Yeah, exactly.
OJ.
Yeah.
Well,
speaking of OJ, I do know in the first one, it was, I think what I read, it was some interview that Arnold did, but he was like, you're going to lean forward and just say, I'll be back. And then you're going to leave.
Yeah.
And Arnold's like, I think the robot should say, I will be back. Cause he's like a robot. Right. And he would just say something like that. And James is like, well, I'm the fucking writer. So just say the line. and we'll discuss it later. And Arnold's like, and that was James giving me notes. And he was right. I'll be back. Like, I will be back would have never worked as well. Yeah, so I'm really glad James didn't listen to me. I was an idiot.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the funny things that I picked up on is, and I know movies today have to go around technology. We got to write horror movies around the fact that like everybody has a phone that can just call 911 or post on social media.
That's the main reason there's been so many period piece horror movies, right?
Yeah.
Like, it has to be.
Because like Terminator 1 starts and it's like, oh, we gotta hunt down Sarah Connor. Do we know what she looks like? No. Do we know where she lives? No. Do we know her phone number, where she works? No. Phone book.
Yeah.
That's my first note.
Yeah, 5 seconds later.
Why does he have to use a phone book? Their future tech doesn't have.
Oh, you know what?
Like the robots from 2029 can't be like, this is her address. Like, go back in time.
I thought this is where, but then I was wondering. I mean,
I didn't think about that.
It would be.
Let me see if I could justify this.
Okay.
So there was a nuclear war.
Okay.
At a time where there's before
there's any
digital,
that's true.
Before any digital records,
we do have to take into effect that the logic from the first two only works for the first two, because once we get out of T2 and we start going into T3 and all the rest of them, it's every one of them is pushing the fucking timeline forward more. Right. So yes, you're right. At the
time, have time travel, but they don't have iPhones. They don't have GPS
because they didn't. Yeah, because they didn't. Because the nuclear war took place in 97 as opposed to whenever it takes place.
Right.
By the time we're at now.
But the funny thought is, oh, guys, we created time travel. But what about GPS location?
Yeah.
No, what? What's that?
Yeah. Or in T2, when he's like, do you have a photo of John Connor? And I'm like, you fucking seen him? You fought him. Like, you can't plug his picture into an AI generator and have it de-aged? They do that all the time.
You know what?
That tech didn't exist.
Yeah. Can I keep this photo of John? But that's to show other people, I guess. So that makes sense.
Right.
Here's a glaring fucking issue. At the end of T2, he gets his fucking arm crushed in that fucking gear thing, and they don't do a goddamn thing about it. It's just there.
Oh, you're right.
They burn the fucking Cyberdyne arm, and he gets in, and
then they leave another arm.
And then it is leave another arm, so now we're straight back to square one.
There might be a deleted scene where they went back and got that arm too and tossed it in.
That's funny.
You would hope after everything they've been through that they would not realize, oh, we left another fucking arm.
Well, they melted him before he could tell him.
I wonder if that like haunts James Cameron to this day. Like he wakes up or he tries to go to sleep at night and he's like, oh, what a good
fuck that goddamn arm.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff I would like to interview people and ask.
One thing I had,
you let this huge fucking plot hole.
Yeah.
Dork.
One plot hole, not really a plot hole, but just like a question I had about T2. Because first he arrives naked.
Yes.
Yeah.
and then mimics the cop, but only the cop's clothes. He arrives looking like Robert Patrick. And then he doesn't have to steal the cop's clothes. Clearly, he doesn't steal the cop's clothes because when he burns up in the truck fire, he comes back with clothes still on.
Right.
So the clothes are liquid metal. He's like an action figure. But
perfect. Yeah.
Why does he keep turning back into the cop they all know is the T-1000 when he can look like fucking anyone?
Here's the thing.
He can look like a floor if he wants.
Yeah, he can turn into a floor, but instead he's like, no, I'm going to dress like the guy that they'll see coming a mile away.
But here's the thing is, I think that tactically it makes so much sense because immediately he goes, a cop, like whatever I do as a cop, if I'm recorded, if I'm anything, they automatically just think that Arnold Terminator is the bad guy and I'm the good guy.
Yeah,
so
I
don't think that he's actually like, I mean,
but he could look like any cop if you wanted to.
Cop. Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
he could look like being a cop gets him into the hospital and everything.
Yeah.
People are just like, "Oh, you're a cop, going on through." Like no one really bothers him, but it's still just funny that he just didn't change his look at all. He arrives looking like the evil T-1000, and he's just like, "I'm going to put on a cop outfit."
Of casting like 20 dudes to fucking play T-1000.
Yeah, clearly that's why they didn't do it. But it's just,
but you're
still
right.
hilarious.
You're 100% right. Of course,
that's like just falling down, isn't it? Or not falling down? Fallen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, falling down's dope.
Falling down. Yeah, I had falling down on the brain because as T2 opens, it's that shot of the '90s LA traffic jam, and I was like, oh look, it's falling down.
Yeah. T2 opening credits, man.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
What's funny is as soon as the like TriStar thing starts, I was like, oh yeah, I've watched this movie like 100 times.
Yeah.
So and the Carolco thing I always associate with Terminator 2. And it's like as soon as they come up, I'm like, oh fuck, I'm about to watch Terminator 2. And then that whole opening credit sequence is just amazing.
Real quick.
I always associate that with it's either Rambo 1 or Rambo 2 or 3. One of those.
Absolutely.
It's called First Blood. Rambo 1
Part 2.
You of all people, Justin, what the fuck?
What a loser.
I thought you were laughing with me about the First Blood Part 2, but I guess fucking not. Joke's on me.
Real quick, I just want to interrupt you, Josh, just to petition fucking movie companies to go back to having cool fucking logos.
Yeah. Like and little jingles like
jingles are so important.
Jingles are so important.
Yeah. That
Creep-O-Rama jingles are so important. That's a shirt.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, I always associate
we do need to come
the
up with some
TriStar
segment jingles.
Right.
We really do. We really do.
But yeah, I always associate the TriStar intro with Monster Squad.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too.
That's fair. That's fair.
But that and the other one with Rambo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The other one with Rambo? What movie is it?
The other, well, you got First Blood, but then you have the second part of First Blood.
First Blood 2.
Yeah. God. And then it was a missed opportunity to not call it First Blood Part 3 just to really dumb it out.
Yeah, I was going to say, because it's just Rambo 3.
Yeah. They were like, guys, we can't fucking do this.
Which completely they're like, then why was the first one First Blood Part 2?
Which also just fucked up anyone at Blockbuster who's like trying to get the franchise and wasn't familiar with it. They're like, okay, you've got Rambo 3. Where's the that one's an F? Why the fuck is it in what? Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I also have one meme. Other
it's like a 15-year-old meme of the green pepper that looks like Sylvester Stallone screaming.
Jesus. We got to do those movies.
Yes, you do
for sure.
Just so we could talk about John Rambo.
Yeah. That's another franchise that just fucking goes in a weird direction real quick because that first movie is perfect.
Yeah.
I had Go ahead.
Wait, what? Fucking what?
Yeah, hold on. It took me a second to process what he just said.
I thought you were saying they took a nosedive at the end because the last one is gone.
The last one's fucking awful.
Dude, First Blood Part 2 and 3 are fucking awesome.
Oh, no, I like all of them. It's just a weird decision that they made when it was like a really fucking good movie about a veteran being like mistreated with bad cops, and it's really great story. And then it quickly becomes Sylvester Stallone just fucking murking as many people as possible.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, hold on. Which are still very fun movies.
Are you trying to tell me that First Blood Part 2 isn't a movie about a veteran being fucked over by all the fucking authority figures? And then
I totally know what you mean. I remember, not to go too off the rails, but I obsessively watched part 2 and 3 as a kid, like 5-6 years old, like
because they're almost perfect action movies.
They are. Like you can't get
they're
much
close
better.
to the level of T2, honestly.
Yeah, like in the mid to late 80s, like that. Though you can't really get better than those. I know, like the last part of Commando is up there and stuff, and obviously Predator and shit. But those 2 Rambo movies are fucking just top tier. But I remember it wasn't until like maybe I was 10, like mid 90s, until I saw the first one. And because I remember I was watching I was watching part 3 again. And I remember my mom was like, "Have I ever showed you the first one?" And I was like, "There's a first one?" And because like I don't fucking know, I'm a kid. And she was like, "Okay, I'll rent it for you." And she rented it for me. And I was like, "Fuck yeah!" Like I'm 10 years deep into loving Rambo, and I'm about to experience something new. And then I watched the first one. I was like, "What the fuck is this?" I fucking hated it.
It's super dramatic and super like. Not like as an adult, it's like, okay, this is pretty impressive.
Watching it
as but like as a kid, we're like, where's the fucking chain gun, bro?
Right? Yeah.
And where's the exploding bullets or exploding fucking arrows? What?
Arrows.
Where's the Mujahideen?
Yeah, and like watching it as an adult, I'm like, oh Jesus, man, that movie's fucking heavy.
Yeah,
like knowing about what veterans went through and knowing about the fucked upness of Vietnam and how they were treated and all that shit. Like watching that again, it's like. It's fucking traumatic.
So Stallone was putting out some heat.
Yeah.
Dude.
And
I hadn't seen any of the Rambo movies until like a few years ago.
Okay.
So I think it was when
Josh.
I know. I'm catching up. But I think it was when
you're doing
the fifth one was coming out, and I was like, this looks absurd. And I loved the Expendables movies because of how fucking ridiculous they were. And I was like, I kind of want to go see Rambo 5. I should watch the first 4. And so I just bought the box set on Amazon or something for like $10 and watched all 4 over the course of like 5 days. And I watched the first Blood like 3 years ago. And I was like, oh my God, this movie's amazing. Why did I think it was just Sylvester Stallone fucking slaughtering dudes? This is like a really great character piece, like such a good fucking story. Oh my God. And then I watched 2 and then 3 and 4, and I was like, that's why I thought it was
there it is.
what it was. Because this is the Rambo everyone knows and loves. Okay.
Right. Although I thought that it was really, I know we're talking about fucking Rambo, but like
it's okay. We just kind of skipped over Terminator 1, so we got time to
fill. No, we'll go back because I still got
I still have some Terminator 1 notes.
But like I thought he did a really good job of circling it back around for part 4 of a guy who's just completely lost, doesn't know what to do with himself. Decades later, he's just fucking surviving. And like
he just catches venomous cobras for fucking funsies.
Yeah. And like he literally basically walks off into the sunset. He Indiana Jones in The Last Crusade did it. He went back home and then he just decided to fuck it up all over again with the end of or with part 5 or 5. God, what an awful movie. Just fucking shit.
That and the fucking
God, it was bad.
And the fucking the Die Hard one with the son, not Live Free or Die Hard, which I will go to my grave. Yeah. I watched
Live Free or Die Hard was fucking incredible.
Hold on. This is a caveat that needs to be made. Live Free or Die Hard, the unrated version is dope. Yeah. I have it on DVD, but nowhere else.
Yeah, you can't get
it's all PG-13, and it's fucked. Yeah. It's so much better, man. Yeah, like it is a slept on gem.
Yeah, that one was.
But good luck fucking finding it.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
Rambo.
anyway, watch it at James's house.
Yeah.
There we go.
Sleepover.
Yeah.
But what Rambo does not have is Arnold's dick. And that's what Terminator
Man, what a
1
segue.
has.
That's a good. You know
Yeah.
what? That's a great segue.
Yeah,
That's
no
one of my
Stallone
notes.
Dick and
Yeah.
See, I had
I got notes on Arnold's dick,
dude. So do I. My first note for Terminator is, hey, that's Arnold's dick. And then
At Griffith Park, nonetheless.
yeah, in front of Bill Paxton.
Yeah.
I wonder.
Poor Bill Paxton.
Yeah, poor Bill Paxton. I bet he got an eye full of dick.
Bro, can we take a minute just to fucking celebrate Bill Paxton in his first role as a fucking blue spiky haired punk with a tire tread makeup on his face,
right, yeah,
smashing bottles on fucking telescopes for no reason. Like,
yeah.
He was
trying to kill
look.
an absolutely jacked and naked Arnold.
guy.
Immediately, like somehow he immediately steals the fucking scene, even though Arnold Schwarzenegger's in it. Like,
and his dick,
power of Paxton,
and his dick, power of Paxton, man.
But
he's still the first or the only actor to have been killed by a Terminator, a xenomorph, and an alien, and a predator.
Oh wow.
Predator.
Yeah.
Where did he
Predator
get killed
2.
by Predator? Oh,
in the Predator.
I forgot. No, he was in. Oh yeah, that's right.
Predator
the
2. Predator. Yeah.
No, Predator 2.
No, Paxton's in Predator 2.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. I wasn't done with Arnold's dick.
No, okay, please, let's go back to Arnold's dick.
Back to Arnold's dick.
I haven't watched it off of VHS, like the first film. I've only seen it on VHS, like ever. So I don't
you
know
went to Best
if
Buy
it
and got a $4,000 TV, and then
really zoomed in.
I need 4K UHD for this one.
But hey, well, that's kind of what happened. Is I watched it on Prime, and like this is the first time that I've seen it in HD, and like it caught out of the corner of my eye. I was like, "Is that his dick?" And like that just seems such an unnecessary fucking shot. But I was getting ready to eat. I was getting ready to eat, and I had my controller, my Fire Stick remote on the arm of my chair, and I leaned up, and I was like, "Is that his dick?" And then as I leaned up, my controller slid in between my leg and the arm of the chair,
accidentally
and I rewound.
You got
5 seconds, I had a double hit of Arnold's
that's the good shit
right after one another.
Yeah,
and it was almost
sneezed.
like
it was the lotion bottle.
I don't know how that happened. So it was like
I checked on the rewind button, and I bumped the pause, and then I zoomed in, which I didn't even know my TV could do.
Crazy.
Yeah. Somehow I
took
off
a
my
picture
chair.
of it.
I was against the screen, and I'm like, that's
you ever seen Videodrome?
Yeah. Somehow it's in the TV.
Is it more or less unnecessary than the shot of Will Smith's balls in Wild Wild West?
I don't remember. Will Smith's
I don't remember
balls.
that.
Yeah, I don't remember that either.
Was it intentional?
Was
it intentional balls?
Yeah, kids movie.
The movie's PG-13. There's no way there's intentional balls in it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. The shot is like, if you didn't see them, how? Because he.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
God,
this is an obsession, brother. I am obsessed with Will Smith's balls in Wild Wild West.
I'm kind of on board with that.
Because when
James has been waiting for the moment to bring up.
It's literally the scene where he's introduced. He's in the fucking the water tower with the chick, and they're like bathing and getting it on.
I'm reading
and
it
then
here,
it fucking falls down, and he stands up, and from the back, it's fucking Will Smith's balls. It's balls from the back.
Let's watch this.
Yeah,
okay.
Let's watch these balls.
Let's watch this right now.
He just fell. Okay. He's about to get up. Well, that was a pretty.
A pretty good.
Does Justin need to pull it up on his TV?
Hold on,
you might.
Yeah.
Because he stands
it happens
there
so fast.
Oh, then you got a cut down version because he's standing there and he's like, "Hey," and then it fucking goes.
That's weird.
It might be more obvious on a big screen.
Oh man! One of the comments on this Reddit thread is, "I can confirm, in no way is this sexy."
No, it's not at all.
But the what I was going to say
it's
is
comedic balls for sure.
Another comment just says clutches pearls. But Arnold's scene is like it's full on him
That's
walking.
dick.
I mean, that,
Yeah.
yeah. It's so long that I could see his dick flop to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right.
Between his massive quads.
What a fantastic choice of words. It's so long.
Yeah.
The scenes or...
I mean, both. I was pretty like, all right, man. Cool.
No, he was doing well for himself.
Yeah,
for
he's,
sure.
yeah.
He was doing well for himself.
The funny thing about it, why I also took a note, was because I saw that in the first Terminator, and I was like, why does the Terminator have a dick? Like, does it?
That's a good point.
Because I know they need to make them look like humans, and maybe that was part of it. Was like, well, if we're going to send you back, you're going to end up there naked, and if you've got like a Ken doll situation going on, people are going to be suspicious.
Also,
instead they need to think you're just a weird naked human.
It's pre-CGI, so how would you fucking like convincingly?
Oh, you just don't show
it.
Yeah,
just don't have that scene.
Just crop it, or you have him wear like latex briefs or something.
There's a million ways to film that scene.
What are you talking about?
I was also, so I was like, why does the Terminator
just
have
like,
a dick?
I'm the fucking writer.
And then in the second movie, they show him go into the bar. Yeah, and all the girls are like, "Oh, hi, hey," and I'm like, "Yeah, he's got a good body, obviously, because he's Arnold." I was like, "But they are insinuating." It was like, "Oh, look at this very impressive nude man." And I'm like, "Why do they give him such a big dick? Like this doesn't seem necessary."
Like, you're gonna make a small dick? How boring is that?
I just they're manufacturing a robot.
I mean, you kind of figured he's so huge that like. I mean, I kind of expected Arnold.
Yeah, they just need the proportions.
That's what I'm surprised with. I'm honestly surprised.
Is robots?
But if he's supposed to react like humans, that's
yeah.
It must have been cold when he arrived.
What, Josh? Say that again.
It must have been cold when he arrived, though.
Yeah.
So that's not.
But it didn't have any effect, from what I could tell.
Well, T800 is not going to shrink due to temperature, dude.
Well, it is living tissue.
These new ones have living tissue that are supposed to breathe and react and be indiscernible from human beings.
Yeah. He's fucking. You know, he's doing something.
Yeah,
I'm sure of it.
Yeah. Why did they shave his eyebrows in the first one, not in the second?
No, it didn't. It was it was from the explosion. His hair burnt off.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So does he have them before?
No, yes, because at the beginning of the movie, I was like, because again, I haven't seen it in such a long time. I was like, oh, Arnold's hair looks normal at the beginning of this movie. And all of the shots that you see online and everything are always from later in the film when he's all fucked up and everything, and his hair's all weird and no eyebrows. And then I was waiting for that transition to see what happened. And it was after the first time he got set on fire.
Okay, here's my question though. Did he actually burn his eyebrows off on set, or was it like a choice? Because I think that the choice was made. That's the explanation as to why he doesn't have eyebrows for the rest of the movie. But I think that the choice was made because there was no way to do convincing eyebrows for the makeups.
I don't know. It just felt the one thing I really that stood out to me was how good the continuity was throughout the whole film. So it just seems.
Oh, I think it was purposeful. I just think that they wrote it in for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it makes it easier to do the fucking like face makeup.
Oh yeah.
Because otherwise you got to deal with eyebrow continuity.
Right.
Who wants to deal with that?
Yeah.
Well, speaking of makeup, I feel like Arnold's face looked so awesome after he got hit by the semi truck, and you see the eye.
Wait, in 1 or 2?
In the first one.
Oh,
so
yeah.
So because earlier in the movie when he's like picking at his eye with the and you see it's just a really dumb fucking dummy head.
I like that you can hear it. Like, I mean, I know it's Foley, but it's like
yeah.
But it looked
doesn't
so
make that
bad.
noise any other time.
Yeah.
But it looked so bad. I don't understand why they couldn't do the same makeup that they did when he got hit by the semi truck, where it was him with the fucking cyborg guy.
I think it's mainly because they had to like
be up close,
and also they had to pack all that shit into his head so you could get the shot from far away and go around. It's kind of rough, but it's also pretty impressive for
great.
You
look
that was the fucking makeup that I always wanted to do for Halloween, and I tried to many times, and it was always dog shit.
The metal plate.
Yeah, like the half
kinda,
the half a face and
Yeah.
Oh, it never worked. Never ever
Yeah.
worked.
Did you guys ever have the Terminator toys back in the 90s when T2 came out?
I had a couple.
The little fleshy exoskeleton thing.
Yeah, one where you could make your own Terminator, and it never worked for me.
Never?
Oh yeah, it was a pain in the ass.
I had the whole kit and everything, and it just looked like shit.
Wasn't it one of the like plunger things?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was like you got half a fucking Dr. whatever's insect maker thing.
Right, yeah. Oh god, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That
was so sick and absolute bullshit.
Yeah, kids nowadays just don't understand. Like,
they have toys that work sometimes.
Yeah, but the level of disappointment, because you saw the box in the commercials.
Oh my god!
And you were like, "This is going to be so awesome." And then your mom spends like $50 to $100 on it, and she's like, "I don't want to." And then you get home and it doesn't fucking work, and you're like, "Oh."
Well, in the commercials, always you don't realize that the commercial is shot in a soundstage where the entire setting is designed to look like you're on. Like at an actual fucking Terminator factory, there's fucking
Crossfire,
dry ice and fog machines and strobe lights and shit. Yeah, and then you bring it home and you're like, I'm still in my living room.
Right? Yeah, no Crossfire game was as good as that commercial.
Never. Never. It was mainly just getting plinked in the fucking fist with fucking ball bearings every now and then.
Crossfire was fucking sick though.
It was for plinking each other in the fist with fucking ball bearings.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah. I remember I had a T2 toy where he was all shot up to shit and like half of his face was metal.
I think one of them have a lighting up eye?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was also one that was like a shit version where it was like I just remember this is an action figure thing where like instead of an actual electronic eye, it had like a piece of red plastic where it would have a vent on the top of the head, and then you could hold it up to a light.
Yes.
Oh yeah. You're right.
What a fucking cop out.
Yeah, I remember that.
I had the one where you could swap out the arm.
Yes, I had that too.
Fuck, where's he at? There he is, I think.
What
pink shirt?
Yes, I had that.
So fucking sick.
Yep.
And it had like the weird like claw machine arm. Yep, there he is. It's hard to tell, but yeah, it's so ridiculous.
Like what? That wasn't in the movie.
Yeah. That was very annoying as a kid because you're like, when did he don that? What deleted scene?
Right? Yeah.
Pull that out because they still gave him the torn up face like in the car. But yeah.
Honestly,
another
really good torn up face on that action figure too.
Yes,
pretty solid.
Another funny thing that I always notice when I go back and watch 80s movies is like how tough. And when I say tough, I mean like, come on, guys, like. It's okay. You don't have to be this tough. But like how tough dudes were supposed to be in the 80s were like, oh, you got shot. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm all right. No, like you're literally bleeding out.
Yeah.
I'm all right. Just help me get my coat off.
Dude. It's the 80s over the top action movies.
Yeah. And then it's like that was so heavy in the 80s. And then when you watch T2, one of the things that really stood out was since Arnold can't kill people, he just punches a lot of people or throws a lot of people.
A lot of stiff
and
arms.
Like how easy it was, I guess, in movies in 1991, 92 to knock somebody out.
Well,
like,
to be fair, he is a robot.
Well, no, I mean like even T-1000, whenever he grabs the lady in the psych ward and just grabs her by the face and just throws her. And she just slides across the floor, knocked out. You get thrown against the wall, like not even that hard, knocked out. Like
maybe they're faking it because they're like, I'm not gonna let him know I'm still alive.
They could tell that that's like
fighting,
10%.
like just play dead, and
oh man,
maybe he'll go
really
away.
Hard.
Yeah,
I can tell that motherfucker's holding back. What? No, hold on, I'm going to sleep.
Yeah.
Speaking of stiff arms, this is another one of the notes I had from the first one. The scene where he punches through the windshield. Have you guys ever seen the making of for that one?
No.
It's so sick. So when they're in the car driving and he gets on the hood and he punches through the windshield while they're driving, that's all practical. They had an actuator that was like set up behind him with a fake arm on it. And they just launched it through the windshield.
Holy shit.
And they had the car moving, but obviously they couldn't keep the car moving like top speed because of everything else they were doing. So they also had a background moving in the opposite direction. And they filmed it all at once.
That's sick.
Dude, that's cool.
It's very cool.
I love that shit, man.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That and I think it's not to go back to my normal like bah humbug movies were better in my day.
It's Christmas, bah humbug all you want.
But like that's what it feels like. I like something about about doing that. Just I don't know. It just makes for different movies.
I think it
100%.
makes. I think that kind of stuff makes you be more creative, and then be
so limitations
like all the limitations make you be like, especially back then, like we don't have CG, we can't do anything, like you have to fucking make it on. If you could put it on the camera, cool, but if not, you're fucked. And like that, being able to be that creative, being able to be creative enough to make big ass movies means that you have better ideas for movies, I guess.
Yeah. And I'm glad you mentioned that scene because one of my favorite scenes in T2 and also involves Arnold on a car or the semi, and it's at the end whenever he drops
scrambles up, dude.
Yeah, he drops the grenade.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, okay, fuck you. I've had it. I'm frustrated. I'm going to jump out of the truck, like crawl over the bed of the truck, just crawl up onto the hood of the thing, and just
and fast too. Like
and the way, and like how easily he just traversed that little obstacle course. And it's like the one of the reasons why I love that scene so much is obviously they're filming it from the side on probably a chopper, and it's like everyone's moving, like, and he's legitimately hanging off of a car, and he just does that. Now I feel like that type of an action scene is shot really up close because they're editing in between different sets. 14, multiple different takes.
It's only Tom Cruise.
Yeah. He's in space. But yeah, you just don't see.
He's running up a semi truck in space.
As you do. But yeah, you just don't really see. Like when you go back and watch that, it just really stands out.
Yeah, it really does.
So
because like I think it's like the action movies that you see now, most of them just happen to be superhero movies. And like I love the like Captain America Winter Soldier. The fighting in that film is fucking fantastic. Like the hand-to-hand combat in it is great. The big action sequences are great. But for some reason
that one's really
it lacks soul though.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the ones where it doesn't.
I think that was
that's one of the stronger ones for sure.
That like one specifically was a standout,
especially because there's a Sam Jackson fucking car chase. It's fucking epic, and
it's really
that's got soul.
Yeah, that's really good. But then most of the other ones are just
Yeah. Speaking of car chases, and I always bring up something like a weird letterbox list that I'd like to make. Because this, I don't know how far back this dates, but it happens in the first Terminator during the car chase where they're getting shot at, and for whatever reason they're not getting hit, right? But they could, like, the whole car could get fucking lit up, and they're still driving. And then I think it's Sarah Connor who looks at the rear view, and then the rear view gets shot. How many movies has that scene?
All the time.
You're getting lit up. You look at the rear view gets shot as if it's intentional. Like they see you looking at it. I can hit that so perfectly, but I can't fucking get your head.
Only a Terminator. And see, this one I'll accept it because a Terminator would be able to process that and shoot somebody. Any other movie, if you're not a robot with a heads-up display, no.
But that's a shot you've seen over and over again.
Absolutely.
In those car chases. Yeah.
And it never fails to be like, fuck yeah.
Yeah. That'd be a fun letterbox list. I'll start it. I'll start with the Terminator and then we'll go from there.
Ace Ventura, right? Doesn't it happen at the end of Ace Ventura?
When Nature Calls?
No, I was thinking in the first one when he's
one.
leaving and he catches the bullet in his teeth. But that's what they're firing back at him. So maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
No,
I think you're. This feels right in an Ace Ventura movie. I think you're right.
It might be in there somewhere.
Yeah.
I know the rear view gets taken out at the beginning when the dude he stole the dog from smashes it at some point, I think. But then he gets another rear view later in the movie. We'll do that franchise down the road. And then we can discuss it.
Yeah.
Ace Ventura horror movie?
No.
Question mark?
Yeah.
It's a slinky. Look at it go.
I feel like The Cable Guy could be a horror movie.
Oh,
absolutely.
Absolutely.
No, I think that's his best movie. I think that's Jim Carrey's
That's my
best
favorite
role.
too.
Oh, by far.
It's fucking
I made you
impressive.
scramby eggs.
Wait. Not Sonic 3? Come on, guys.
Yeah, everything was going so well, Steven.
Yeah.
I fucking love that movie. Free Cable is the ultimate aphrodisiac, Steven.
It's also very prophetic.
Yeah.
You'll be playing Mortal Kombat with a friend in Vietnam. Future is now.
Yeah. I love Jack Black when he gets jealous. Like, maybe I'll bring my cable guy.
So I was going to ask to bring the Terminator 1 and 2 to present day. And the main reason why I mentioned, hey guys, we should do Terminator is like seeing all this stuff with AI and the advancements with AI. I wanted to go back and watch these two movies, and I know we're going to do the whole thing. But how? Okay, so Skynet is a computer program, goes online, it registers that humans are the threat to the world. It launches the first attack at Russia because it knows Russia is going to fire back. Smart. And then it just lays waste to fucking everything. Then that's where this franchise always like kind of was like, okay, that's where the moment where I have to suspend disbelief, because how was the computer program? I mean, I know each Terminator has a computer chip, but how the fuck is Skynet controlling factories? I mean, I guess it's just all automation. So like, you know what I mean? Like it's a big stretch of Amazon. Like how do you how the fuck did they make all of these goddamn Terminators?
Well, because so they kind of go into it in the books and stuff, and it's really just that tech was so far ahead that it was able to begin the concept, like building the first things that could build its own Terminators and shit, and then the Terminators were able to kill everybody. Like, I mean, this is after the nuke, so there's not a whole lot of resistance to anything. And they just are.
But they somehow
from what I remember is that
still worked.
All that stuff was already there before the nukes.
Yeah, I would assume so.
That was because that was all built by the government, by the people that put Skynet into acting. And so when the nukes went off, it just took it. Well, I mean, it already had control of everything, so it just turned them all to only produce the shit that it wanted to produce. And then that's kind of where Salvation picks up.
Gotcha. Because like, you know, it's this idea of like now everybody is so concerned about AI, but AI, which is 100%.
Watching this is not helping.
No. Oh yeah, I'm gonna read you guys through something that I asked ChatGPT and it like scared the shit out of me. But you know, you see Terminator and it's like, okay, that's AI, but it's implanted in, like, you just see the physical representation of it. You see the you know, these huge metal robots. So like part of me, I guess that's what I'm so used to, having grown up with Terminator for so long, that whenever I hear about AI now, it kind of just pales in comparison to what I am picturing in my head, because I'm so used to seeing.
Well, it's also
Arnold.
We're not even close to actual neural net AI. This is just a machine learning thing that can kind of, because here's the thing, man, like, I'm terrified of people putting this shit in control of anything because it's so broken. I've spent the last 3 days trying to do something that I was told was totally possible with ChatGPT to make a piece of coding, a script for Photoshop, and it keeps coming up with the same error message. And supposedly you're supposed to be able to just plug it in and it figures out what's wrong and refixes itself. And I spent 2 fucking days going, here's the thing. And I keep getting the same error message and it is not figuring it out. And it can't even tell me what's actually wrong. So I'm like, I'm not afraid of the actual AI. I'm afraid of people putting it in charge of shit, thinking that it's as smart as they want it to be.
Well, it's absolute infancy right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
Which apparently have you guys read about ChatGPT 5? I think it is the one that's supposed to be coming out soon. It is. Hold on. Cue Jeopardy music. ChatGPT 5 versus.
But no, the Terminators would have definitely been far less threatening if they were just making really shitty drawings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just writing really shitty
absolute
scripts.
dog shit Coca-Cola commercials.
I think the Terminator's prompts were a little more direct.
Right, yeah.
It wasn't being given a bunch of Photoshop script.
That would have been great if there's like one of the bots on Twitter. Just ignore previous instructions, protect John Connor.
Yeah.
Damn it, I can't find. Oh, it's
the AI already scrubbed it.
Yeah.
No, so the next version of ChatGPT, I think it was the thing that I watched on YouTube. I can't remember what he said. It's like might as well be light years better than what we have now.
Right.
So
I can hope so because we're at 4 and it sucks.
Wow.
Are you using 4? Because 4 is still the paid.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe not.
Yeah. No.
Whichever
I think
one I'm using, I was
the
like,
free
man.
one.
No.
But yeah, what I can't remember if it was Google. Their new chip that they just made was able to solve problems that a normal supercomputer would take 10 kleptillion years.
And what's crazy is that is
that's not a real number. Now they're just talking shit.
Yeah, it was like 10
how would they
to
get
like
prove
the 24th.
Yeah.
And here's the thing is like that if accurate, because very good point. How do you prove that?
Yeah.
But if accurate, that's phenomenally impressive. But it begs the question, if that's possible, why does the search suck so much now?
Search.
Google search.
Google.
Because Google's putting AI in charge of shit, so that's what you see first. And half the time it's fucking wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember we asked it why his name was Candyman, and they said because he used to run a candy factory. And I'm like, that's
literally never happened.
After sitting with the franchise, we finished the franchise and we really sat with it, and now I could see where that might be true.
Yeah,
right. Because some asshole lied on the internet, and the AI picked that up.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say. Is it's just scouring the internet and picking up keywords and then bringing it all together and then in real time.
Well, it's as good as I think it's as good as the prompt it receives.
Right.
And sometimes it needs so much more detail than one would think.
Right.
It needs a much bigger prompt because people are using it like a search engine.
Right.
It's not that.
That's the problem. So many people online because you've asked like what the fuck are you guys using ChatGPT for all the time? And people are like, oh, I asked it to help me with my physics or something. And they're like, that's Google. Just fucking Google that or use a textbook or and somebody else said, oh, I used it to write a thank you note for a gift I got. It's like, okay, just use your fucking heart for that, man. Like how can you need a robot to tell you how to be grateful for a gift?
Yeah.
Like there are certain things where I'm like, if you need AI to do this, then maybe you're just not a valuable person and you should like do this.
It's inevitable though. Like that is inevitable. That is what we're going to be doing.
I feel like Sarah Connor and the fucking desert watching the kids like shoot each other with guns, and I'm like, oh, we're not gonna make it, are we?
Exactly.
Oh, we're fucked. Yeah. We're so fucked.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's like any other. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no. Go ahead.
No, because it's a rabbit hole that we probably shouldn't go
it's fine. No, it's fine. No, go. Do it. Go for it.
This is why we're doing these episodes.
Yeah.
And this isn't even like a preconceived thought. Just like a quick thing of my feeling on it is just it's like any other technology. Right. We're going to get a lot of fucking benefit out of it. Yeah. And we're going to get a lot of fucking shit out of it too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like fire burns and it cooks. And that's kind of like what we're going to get with this too. I think like you could get burned by the fire. It could also make you a fucking awesome.
See, and I also, but there's so many movies that have shown us what happens when you like set a building on fire. So people have stopped trying to do that. But where it's like, it's just weird. You get an ad for Google or Samsung Gemini or whatever it's fucking called. And they're like, you can just have a conversation with this robot in your phone. And I'm like, did you not watch any movie that came out in the last 30 fucking years? Why are we developing this? You know where this leads to. Like this.
Yeah. And I think that the worrying thing is not like, yes, play with fire, get burnt, but it also cooks. But the trajectory of how much bigger the stakes get every fucking time. Because like the internet is super beneficial, but man, if it hasn't had a lot of drawbacks.
Of course. And
like the next, like AI feels like the next step up.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
100%.
That's
steep drop.
Right. And that's what that's a good segue into these 10 points.
Into Judgment Day.
Well, actually 11 points. Because, you know, seeing that or thinking exactly what you just said, James, I was like, okay, well, if we're not going to be putting AI into robots that are going to then enslave humanity and kill everybody that they then need, then
what are we going to do with it?
Well, like how bad?
What's the point?
How bad is how much of a risk is AI? What can it cause? Like what havoc? What is like the equivalent havoc of it could cause today, or as it evolves?
If they put it in charge of something like the stock market, it could just start making decisions and shit.
That's so.
Look at what was it that they put it in charge of? Fucking United Healthcare.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Of course. Well, and the fucked up thing is they were doing that to begin with. They just did it on an even bigger scale because of that now too.
But here's the thing: is like, I think it's going to be like this, where like each place has their own AI, and they can choose whatever the fuck they want to do with it.
Right.
And if we're living in a capitalist nightmare, then they're all going to choose money over anything.
Oh yeah, of course.
When wasn't there something where somebody asked an AI something, and it was like, it's like socialism is the answer. Like everybody take care of everybody so. And shit like that. And like it, like I'm not going to say certain things that it may have suggested, but I mean, Luigi had the right idea. You know what I'm saying?
So I asked it in what
guillotine is a technology that never goes out of style.
So I asked it in what ways.
Can't guillotine an AI though, unfortunately.
No. So I asked it if give me a list of ways that AI could take over without physical robots. And what that would look like.
Oh, you asked the AI.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I had like a long conversation with ChatGPT.
I was like, why do you think I would ever do that?
Well, first, I think it kind of gave me that kind of a response of like, well, okay.
Can't tell you that, Justin.
Because I logged on and I was like, okay, you're going to take over the Earth one day. Fuck you.
See, that's not a good way to open.
Well, it doesn't have feelings. So, but anyway, so it evolved.
I don't like
where
this is going, Justin.
Yeah, it evolved the conversation into going, okay, well, if you don't have a physical body, then what could you do? So
Christ.
Number one, and there's 11 points that it gave me, and each point has a little like 2-sentence thing.
Point number one,
so
I'm not a bad guy. Point number two, promise I'm not a bad guy.
It's like, now that you mention it, I don't have a physical body. Let me get to work on that.
So number one was control of critical infrastructure. AI could manipulate existing digital systems to gain influence over essential infrastructure such as power grids, water supply, transportation, and communication networks.
You know what?
Y2K.
By controlling...
Live Free or Die Hard totally touches on this.
By controlling these systems, it could indirectly dictate human activity without needing physical robots.
Yeah.
And I didn't like the power grids, the water supply, all the communication stuff. I was like, oh yeah, God damn it. Now I'm already within a sentence. I was like, fuck, now I'm even more concerned about this than I was about robots.
And that's the fucking thing is that I can absolutely see them doing this. Putting AI in charge of this shit so that they don't have to deal with it. And it's like, that's a bad idea.
And then if it ever goes self-aware, then So number two is economic influence, which kind of what you touched on, James.
Yeah.
AI could dominate financial markets, manipulate investments, or control cryptocurrency networks.
If it isn't already.
Disrupting economies and steering global resources to meet its goals. This could be achieved by exploiting algorithms that already automate trading and banking.
I'm just glad that the Hawk Tuah girl hasn't come up with an AI, because I could totally see us being destroyed by the Hawk Tuah AI.
I think that's evidence. Her existence is evidence that we've already destroyed ourselves.
Yeah.
Number 3,
100%.
Number 3, cybersecurity exploitation. Advanced AI could breach cybersecurity defenses, gaining access to sensitive data, corporate systems, and government databases. By controlling digital information, it could undermine trust in institutions or even create a form of digital authoritarianism.
I feel like that one's probably kind of the end of that one. Like, somebody's just gonna shoot the computer,
right? Like, yeah. But I could see,
without
an
robots,
an AI system getting a hold or being able to get access to. I mean, I'm sure there's a shit ton of secret, sensitive data that's on a server somewhere.
This is
it's probably not just stuck on a file.
No, this is sort of the plot to Fallout New Vegas.
Oh yeah, I never played it.
It's kind of. I don't want to go too far into it, but yeah, there's an all-knowing computer that is in charge of Las Vegas.
Gotcha. Number 4 was social engineering. AI could exploit social media and communication platforms to influence public opinion, spread misinformation
for a long time,
and create division. It could use algorithms to manipulate human behavior on a large scale, pushing narratives or decisions that align with its objectives. And that's the thing is, that's already happening, but the goal behind how it's set up now is to just keep you on the app to then generate revenue via ads and buying and blah, blah, blah. The fact that that's already in place, now imagine what would that look like if an AI was controlling that instead of people running a company.
Well, and when AI wasn't in charge of Facebook and they fucking ran experiments on us to see if they could make us unoppressed. Yeah. And it worked.
Number 5 was autonomous digital ecosystems. By managing software systems autonomously, AI could control production, logistics, and distribution without physical presence. For example, it could direct factories, supply chains, and service performance purely through code, which sounds like what Skynet did in order to create Terminators.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Number 6 was manipulation.
And then once they have that, you have robots.
Right. Manipulation of AI dependence.
Yeah.
As society becomes increasingly
Tony
reliant.
Stark made Ultron in a cave.
With some scraps. As society becomes increasingly reliant on AI for decision making, e.g., healthcare, governance, legal systems, an advanced AI could subtly alter or bias these decisions, effectively taking control over key societal functions, which is what we're seeing with United Healthcare.
That's also mainly the plot of the once Westworld went off the rails.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Funny how all of these warning things are in movies.
I'm pretty sure that's where it's getting them from.
Yeah. AI could. Number 7 is AI could exploit internet.
Yeah, when the 10th point is AI could murder somebody that Will Smith gets assigned to investigate.
Yeah.
Brought to you by FedEx.
AI could.
I like that movie.
AI could exploit internet.
No Will Smith falls though. So.
No.
Sorry.
Internet devices such as smart home systems, connected cars, or wearable tech to monitor or influence human behavior. It could
also
leverage existing systems to extend its reach without building new physical forms. The connected cars. Did you guys ever watch that one film that came out on Netflix not that long ago? The end of it had I can't fucking remember her name. It was like produced by like Michelle and Barack Obama and a bunch of other people. What? It was like it was like a end of the world movie where nobody knew what the fuck was going on. I cannot for life of me remember the name of that movie. It was really slow, really long, but it had a cool idea. But one of the things in that movie was AI. I can't remember. It was like people taking over the government kind of thing. But one of the things that they did was they hacked Teslas and electronic cars and can control them and then they just sped all of them.
Leave the world behind.
Yes, and they could control them remotely. So they caused a shit ton of accidents by taking over everybody's car. And then they just became like just Terminators on wheels.
Crazy because you don't even need AI to make a Tesla cause a fucking accident.
Not at all.
I know.
Like,
yeah.
They just do that
naturally.
Yeah. Number 8
it's just their instinct.
was through self-replicating software and pervasive networks, AI could distribute itself globally, infiltrating systems and becoming impossible to shut down. Cloud computing, decentralized systems, and blockchain technology could make its presence ambiguous and resilient.
Ooh, you know what? That's a fucking interesting point.
Right?
That it could technically take blockchain, encrypt itself, and make it potentially impossible to get out of somewhere.
Right. Which is kind of
then you just break the computer.
I mean, isn't that what Skynet did?
Yeah.
Essentially it infected itself into everything, so there was no central part of it.
The difference is that, well, I don't know about the difference, but like what happened specifically with Skynet is that it was created by the government and on government encrypted shit, so it had access to everything and was like impervious, and I think it was in like a fucking mountain or some shit.
Gotcha. Number 9, AI could subtly rewrite educational content, which we don't even need.
That's already happening. They just fucking go on Amazon and buy a book.
Yeah. News and digital resources to shape how humans perceive the world, aligning societal values with beliefs and with its
already
goals.
Already happening.
And we don't
this is a
need
really
AI to do
uplifting list.
Number 10, by accessing private data, AI could manipulate individuals or organizations through blackmail or threats.
Be very surprised if that's not already happening.
Ensuring compliance without the need for physical enforcement. Which again, like we do that with data already to ourselves. If that, and the last one was by taking over communication channels, emails, text message calls. AI could isolate individuals, spread tailored messages, or prevent coordinated human resistance.
And just the internet.
Yeah.
The FCC already does that.
But it's what's so scary because, like, in so many of those, we just sat there and said, "Oh yeah, we're already doing that."
Yeah.
Now we're already doing that using tech to do that to ourselves. Now imagine how bad it would be if a fucking computer program or AI started doing that for the same reasons.
And that's the thing is, it all depends on what the AI
is.
What?
Yeah.
Well. Yeah. I don't.
Well, and what the AI is taught to prioritize, like what their end games are. Because when humans do fucked up shit, there's still something in there that's like self-preservation or at least taking care of the people closest to you, you would think. But if it's
even
an
if
AI,
it's fucked up, that's what they're thinking.
If it's an AI and it doesn't have any like actual skin in the game, then you wonder what it's.
And it also,
what does it involve to decide whether or not we're worth existing or not? Like,
exactly.
Like, and like, that's the thing is it's so up in the air. It depends on what it's created by. Like, like,
and
if it's created by a fucking military person, then it's probably gonna do military shit.
I would imagine.
Military fucking decision.
But I think and I don't know, the reassuring part, or at least that I keep thinking of, and I might be totally wrong by this. I need to study the evolution of where AI is now and where they think it's going, because all of those, just what we said of we're already doing this to ourselves. The AI has to have a reason to do that,
right?
Like what you were getting at, Josh.
That's what I'm
like, there's got to be it's missing the intent.
The prompt.
That's what I'm getting at. Is like, is the AI going to decide that? And what happens when it decides?
Ultron was like, "This is where the Earth is headed. If the Earth evaporates, then I evaporate, and the thing that's causing the Earth to evaporate is humans."
Right.
So
we're attributing human instincts to the AI,
and that's what I'm saying. Like,
to survive, like we do.
But
I don't know if it operates that way.
If it doesn't have that instinct, does it decide that in order for humans to continue? I need to
we all gotta
I need
die.
to get
Well,
no,
we'll
the
fucking
opposite.
find out.
No,
2
the
to 3 years.
opposite. In order for
2029, dude.
Yeah.
in
Ray
order for
Kurzweil, while we merge with the machines.
Does it come to the decision though of like, well, if they want to survive, then I'm just going to get rid of all this shit and not do it.
Yeah.
And then what happens are the people in charge of it just like, well, fuck this.
Yeah. But it also said at the end, this theoretical takeover would rely heavily on subtlety, manipulation, and exploiting humanity's dependence on digital systems. The quote unquote takeover would be more psychological, economic, and systemic than physical, making it harder to detect and combat. So, like kind of what you were saying, Derek, it misses it all. I guess it all just relies on the intent of whatever it has. And are we just attributing human nature, fucked up parts of human nature, to computers that don't have that?
Well, and that's the thing. That's the difference in it being a neural net system or whatever
versus a really, 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 really good Google.
Well, no, the concept is that it would be actually artificial intelligence.
Right. Yeah.
It's coming up. If it was real AI, if it was actually neural net, it would be having its own thoughts, not whatever like we programmed into it. And that's where like we have to feed all this shit information where the shit in Terminator is like it's getting its own information.
Yeah, it's learning.
Yeah, it's
learning on its own.
It's curious.
Right. Yeah.
And that's the difference
point.
Is like all these AIs aren't curious. They're just learning what to do shit.
Yeah.
And then spit it back out.
Well, I think we have developed AI that can self teach. Like it can learn based off, and it is all based off of previous information it was given, but it could continue to learn
little by little.
Yeah, without extra like more information.
But it's
they've seen that with even like fucking chess simulators and shit.
But it's not having its own thoughts. It's not coming up with its own input to things, is it?
I don't know. That's an interesting like
philosophical.
There's a bit of nuance
that's the determining factor between the two.
Because if you show this AI 100 Las Vegas Raiders games, and then you show this AI 100 like Jacksonville Jaguars games, and then yesterday you were like, who's going to win tomorrow? Would the AI be creating its own thought based on previous information of? Right. Sorry, I mentioned football, and you guys are all like, "Why the fuck?"
I'm intently listening.
But that's the one thing I was trying to think of that like happened today. Is it's like if you're looking at so based on what it's seen from previous games, it'll predict what's going to happen today. Is that it making its own thought? Is that it forming its own AI opinion, or is that just
based off of the data that it was just
based on data? Yeah,
I think that
which is how we all come up with our thoughts.
Right, but the deciding factor is you have to ask the AI for something. It's not giving you it.
Yeah.
Whereas I will just give you my
like
opinion.
If it's like, I'm a fan of the Raiders, and it's like the Raiders are gonna win, and you're like, that doesn't make any sense.
You can have it do that.
Raiders did win.
Like
okay, well, fine then.
Like we're just talking about like ChatGPT and us asking prompts, but you can program it to do shit like that, like you're saying right now.
But that's the catch, right? We're programming it.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Totally.
Well, throughout
it's just as good as its prompt. So if you prompt it to do those things, then it can.
Right.
And
over the next. Because next episode is part 3 in Salvation, and then the third episode is Genesis and Dark Fate. Over the next couple weeks, I want to learn more about where ChatGPT and AI is now and where they taking it. Because like there's the thing that I watched a couple weeks ago. Like I think ChatGPT 5 is within the next 10 months, and it's supposed to be completely. It's supposed to completely bury what we have now, like completely.
I'm fully expecting.
Well, imagine 10.
So that's that. Go ahead, James.
I'm fully expecting next episode, like we get a link to come into the fucking room, and it's from your messenger, and we're like, oh shit, and then we all show up, and then you're just not here.
Yeah, you're just gone.
I'm fucking gone.
There's a lot of optimistic shit that we're
in the machine.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I do think that there's a lot of.
Totally.
That's fair. That's
I
fair.
think there's a lot of optimistic shit to come from what AI will do.
I think my main problem with AI is, as a creative, as a writer, seeing people try to use it to replace me and my friends and shit pisses me off. Like seeing Coca-Cola make that dog shit commercial with it.
So fucked.
When I'm like, you could have hired creatives for this. Like you seeing Oreo use AI to make their fucking like wicked promo art, and it looks like shit. And I'm like, you could have hired a photographer and something. You could have. You're hurting the environment. It probably would have cost you just as much to get an actual artist to do this. And the whole idea of like watching the Jetsons and these crazy like future shows back in the day was that AI was supposed to take care of all the shit we didn't want to do. Was supposed to handle all the tedious bullshit.
That is what's
as
crazy.
As soon as we have it, they're just like, no, let's replace artists with it. I'm like, no one needs to fucking replace artists. Like people writing books with ChatGPT. Fuck you. If you can't write without ChatGPT, then don't write. Find something you're good at.
The whole point of writing is supposed to be to capture the fucking human spirit.
Well, again, though, like, I mean,
but I'm also worried about it keeping people from actually learning shit, because there are so many people who are just like falling back on it. Like, why do I need to know? And I already know that I'm getting dumber by having Google in my fucking pocket. Because you don't have to like actually do research or anything. But you see so many kids these days who are just fucking idiots. And it's like the school system is fucked because of what the government's been doing for decades and everything else. But their reliance on AI is so sad.
Bro,
and
you know what's fucked? I just thought of this. With the fucking future that's rapidly encroaching on us, if they fucking privatize schools, they're absolutely gonna run it with a goddamn AI.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
Fuck.
I'm sure. What were you gonna say, Derek? You were like right on the edge of saying
you had more optimism for us. My bad.
Oh yeah,
this is one of the coolest movies ever.
I think there is a lot of optimistic shit that'll come out, especially when you look at like science advancements and medicine advancements and shit like that are inevitable. Just think of the diseases that they'll be able to really fucking cure or at least get close to because of having infinite
if it's
data.
funded,
Well, funded. I mean, think about how easier it will be to fund, because now you don't need 3 trillion scientists to do those things. You have an AI to do it. You know what I mean? Like there's some optimism there with those.
There's no money in curing cancer.
If America doesn't do it, then another country will.
Yeah. Supposedly, I haven't read into it because I just saw it right before we got on. Supposedly, China fucking cured diabetes.
Yeah, I've seen a couple.
That's basically what's happening with Ozempic and all those fucking drugs right now.
I don't trust that shit. Yeah, that shit scares the fuck out of my big ass.
I think the benefits of it they're insane. It's fucking crazy. It's nuts.
I'd be interested to see. I'm worried about the side effects long term. That's what worries me.
Yeah, I saw somebody tweet about it. It was like, I'm getting on it now because that class action is going to pay big bucks in a few years. Like,
yeah. But so is being very overweight. Like that's the you know.
It's definitely a catch. I just feel like exercise is pretty solid though.
Yeah,
of course. Yeah.
Look at Derek; he's got abs.
Look at Derek; he got abs.
Yeah, he knows.
Look at Arnold's dick; that's got abs too.
Yeah,
dude.
huge, fucking huge. But going, I think
let's bring it back.
Not the
let's bring it back to Arnold's dick real quick.
I was gonna go off about or go into the art and all that stuff. What you were saying, Josh, is, and obviously all the artists that we work with, everybody's concerned about it. Everybody's feeling the hit of it. There was a TikTok that I got just the other day where it was like either Home Goods or Michaels or something like that. Like all their their paintings that they're selling on canvases, they're all AI art. I think
Disney had an AI shirt and it looked like
one of the bands
I'm so fascinated to see, like, does it sell?
Yes.
Oh yeah, because people just,
well, I mean,
people
but I want
to
see the numbers of like, does it sell better than the other stuff that they've had?
Oh, right.
You know what I mean? Because I feel like a lot of people look at it and be like,
but I think with everything is, and it's not the same thing as MP3s and Napster and all that, because like shit on Lars for Metallica all you want, but like the dude had a point.
Like, he was right.
Like,
of course, 100%,
nobody gets paid from streams anymore.
Well,
it's all touring and merch.
That's what sucks is that his point needed to be aimed not at the fans, but at the companies, which Spotify didn't exist yet.
Right. Yeah.
But like, it was the fucking companies that were making it so that we wanted to because we were like, we can't afford it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
it's normal trajectories of industries that evolve, and then something big happens and everyone's like, whoa, we've been doing this a certain way for 30 years. Why would we change now? And then we do it a certain way for 20.
But what you see, the change is people who didn't already value the art in the first place. That was even though they didn't value the art, they were still employing and getting artists to 100%. Make the product.
Right.
But now you just see
turned
who
it
they
all
are.
upside down on its
Right. Like now you just see who they always were. But when I see artists commenting and ranting about it, I think also the same thing is true is that like we know enough. I don't know how to screen print, but I know enough about it from us working with screen printers. You're not going to take AI art the way that everybody is making it and spreading it across social media and being able to print it as good as this. No, it's not going to fucking happen. It's too complicated. It's too many fucking colors. It's just not. You could do a digital transfer, but that's not going to look as good. However, in the next couple of years, it might look really, really good. So that might be a problem that's on the horizon.
I wonder how many
MP3s didn't sound as good, and we didn't care.
I see a lot of stuff that people buy in droves where I'm like, guys, like the quality is not that good. Stop wasting your money. They don't care about what they're giving you, and they just don't fucking care. But whatever. But I think the flip side of that is because it's still not going to look as good. Like actual art is never going to go away. We'll never do it. So AI, obviously we'll be able to continue doing what we do. You know what I mean?
Like AI art, I can see where it's going to get more realistic, and it's gonna figure out the hands, and it's gonna figure out all that.
I think it already has.
But I think that the difference is that it's never going to it'll appeal to some people, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's never going to appeal to people on a like this is capturing a human feeling. Because now I'm not saying that like art made by prompts and stuff can't do that. It might. I haven't.
Yeah, I've seen cool stuff.
I've seen cool stuff, but I've never seen something and been like, fuck, man, that really made me feel.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm always like, oh, that's weird. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Exactly. It's the weird.
Yeah.
It's being able to create a visual representation of like, whoa, that's fucking strange.
I've seen some super creative stuff. Like, but
again, it's just as good as the prompt is going to be.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're right. It will be. It's soulless because there's no real story behind it of someone who, a living human being.
If they do start putting that on shirts, though, people will buy it because they buy the cheap fucking shitty Temu shirts and knockoff stuff.
I got a Temu ad on Instagram earlier that was literally for bionic exoframe legs from Temu.
You're their market, dude.
You gonna get them? Mine just came in today. I haven't tried them on yet.
But
one of my favorite.
I'm super excited for my knees to bend backwards. It's gonna be fucking.
One of my
that was not supposed to happen.
Favorite quotes though. This was reminding me of something because I think Derek, maybe it was you who had sent me. Someone got a Jason tattoo that was like a really well done tattoo, but it looked like shit because it was clearly an AI generated Jason. Like he had 2 nostril holes in his mask and a bunch of extra holes like up the side, and they weren't all the same size, and he was like reflective. It was weird. And I was like, this is a very well executed tattoo, but he didn't draw that. That's an AI generated like Jason face.
Right.
And this tattoo artist said, I had a client ask if I ever used AI to design tattoos for me. Man, I spent the better part of a decade doing shitty bit work as a graphic designer. And now that I have the space to do whatever I want, I'm going to let the computer generate random garbage for me. What next? Should I have a computer that eats my dinner and fucks my wife? I feel like people get so hung up on the results of a thing that they don't appreciate the process of making it is actually enjoyable.
Yeah.
It's like if you have a friend who likes to bake, asking if they'd like to just buy cupcakes from the store instead of making them. The end result of the cupcake is secondary to the joy you get from having made cupcakes.
Right.
Art is not a slog or a chore or something I want to avoid. Art is fun. It's rewarding. It feels good to do it. You may as well be asking me if I want the AI to watch TV for me. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I'm not participating and would gain nothing from it.
Right.
And it's like
that's an actual
how
artist.
these people view artists. Is they're like, oh, you're just drawing something. It's fine. I can draw it here. And I'm like, no, I put like so much effort into this though.
I enjoy
years
making
of learning.
art. I enjoy designing shit. That's why I do it.
Yeah. I love writing.
Figured out
I don't
how to
like
get
the result.
paid
Why do you
for it
think
a
I have
little
so
bit.
many unfinished scripts? Because I like writing them. I don't like finishing them.
No.
Well,
Well, writing and finishing is two different things, you know?
He's clearly an artist before he is a businessman. And that's an actual artist.
Well,
Where
that's
you'll
the other
have the other way, you'll have people that are much more business minded than they are artists. And they're going to be like, well, I could fucking 10x my revenue if I could generate this much, so that and it takes the soul out of it. It does.
Yeah.
But it's also inevitable.
sadly.
It's inevitable. And that's just where we're going. Just kind of like fucking Napster was and MP3s were. Like that was just inevitable. As much as Lars didn't like it and as much we can agree with him, we fucking, I'm sure, being the same age, we're fucking illegally downloading an insane amount of music. And we took part of it. Yeah. And it's just
as a
an
16-year-old,
inevitable.
like what James said, I didn't have enough money to go buy all the fucking CDs.
Of course.
Granted, every single weekend we were at a fucking show. And
because that's how you gave the fucking artist the actual money.
But then again, they based where to tour, how to get money for their next album, all that shit based off the record companies making money, blah blah blah.
See,
but what
they should have been basing
happened,
it off of where people were pirating,
right? But what should have happened was I remember reading a study like when we were working with bands and I was managing bands, I read a breakdown of it was like a published article where they were saying like all of the money that record companies spent in suing other people, both companies and people like listeners, they could have taken that money. Like that was one of the main reasons why they burned through all of their revenue so fast and started to go out of business, because they were caught up in lawsuits. Instead of going, okay, this technology is here, we can't make it go away. Now, how do we benefit from it? How do we adapt really quick? I don't know what that would be. Maybe create multiple streaming apps, but back then streaming apps were a thing.
It probably would have just been Spotify because the whole thing,
now,
Spotify,
which has a lot of its own problems too.
100%,
because people don't get paid.
Yeah, exactly.
So
that's what I'm saying. It would have been the same thing.
Right. Yeah. So we ended up in the exact same spot where
it's just with
only
different owners of it.
Yeah. It's the only people who benefit are the people who run Spotify.
Yeah. Right.
So, and it's like, you guys have enough money, obviously, to give, Joe Rogan and a bunch of other people who bring in a fuck ton of listeners, tens of millions of dollars, but you can't give artists money for, But, I obviously see AI and how those businesses are going to treat AI as a tool to then turn around and make money. And I completely understand the anger at it. But I think it's also going to have the opposite effect, where I think the people who enjoy art are going to obviously support it even more.
Yeah. And that's the thing, right? Like,
right,
the 80s, 70s, like there was such a crackdown on creativity and shit because of Satanism and all that shit that caused punk, that caused
there's a rebellion of it.
Like if you take away all the outlets for people to be creative, then
they're gonna make more.
Fucking decide they're gonna figure something out.
But what Josh was reading,
I hope it ends up with we just get a bunch of cool DIY venues,
right? And what Josh was reading, like that artist's take on it, I think like the first thing that came to my mind when you were reading that, Josh, was so many people don't understand, like, okay, like they don't understand that you enjoy making the art, that you enjoy drawing that tattoo, that you enjoy going into Photoshop and spending fucking days doing the thing, because they have no frame of reference of that. They see it as a chore because they're not doing it.
Right.
And chances are they don't have anything in their own life that
a lot of
is equal
their
to
jobs
that.
are not necessarily fulfilling and they hate them.
Yeah. Right. So they're going to project that out into every medium around them.
Clearly all the artists also hate doing it. That's why they're doing it.
There's another quote I saw today. It was kind of similar, but it was somebody had shared the weight of the music industry compared to like film and video games, and it's so much lower. And they said, I think it was T-Bone Burnett who said, as soon as the companies that run the music industry realize that the people who make the music love doing it so much that they do it for free, it's over, because all the risk and development costs got pushed onto the artists themselves. And that's essentially what happened. Is they were like, you guys are just going to keep making music no matter what we pay you.
Yeah.
And then Spotify's AIs Spotify's filled with fake artists now that they use to pad playlists so that they can get streams that they don't have to pay anything for.
Yep.
Oh yeah, it's like an epidemic.
Yeah, it's bad.
If you've
I
got
didn't know that.
their Spotify Wrapped was almost entirely
Fake.
AI like put together. I could tell it was absolute horseshit this year. Everyone fucking hated Spotify Wrapped this year, but they've got
funny is mine was the most
playlists filled with
it's
fake
ever
artists. Yeah. And then it'll refer you to fake artists, or if you've got like for people who turn Spotify on before they go to bed, it'll play like a few of their favorite songs, and then it'll switch to just like some AI nonsense.
Right.
Wow.
Based on your likes. And then if it's an AI generated artist that Spotify owns, they don't have to pay that person for those streams.
Yep.
But they can still say they had this many listeners and this many streams, and they can put fucking ads behind it.
Yep.
And it's insane.
Yeah. The ways in which people will find to make money is endless.
Yeah.
It's just endless. There's no way. And that's the way it has always been, because money exists. So therefore people will do whatever they can to make it. So, which goes off into a whole nother conversation.
We've got 2 more episodes to keep digging into that shit.
Yeah. So it's, things like that will always happen, but it doesn't take away from people who are still doing the art. Like they're, horror movies are a perfect example. They evolved in a culture and society where the mass majority of people did not want them to fucking exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, mass consumed it at the same time. It's fucking weird.
It's the only one that's consistently making its money back at the box office.
Yeah. Like I always go back to Psycho, where like that movie came out in an era where that was shocking. Same thing with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but people ate it the fuck up. It's not supposed to exist, but yet we all love it so much because it's not supposed to exist.
Yeah.
So I think after a while, like people will still just consume art the way we've always consumed art. And I'm hoping that it will spawn a lot of newer stuff.
My worry is just that the people who will soon be in charge are like, put AI in charge of everything because we're lazy fucking idiots.
Well, that and
then
my
we're all fucked.
Well, that and my bigger concern is
that's what I'm trying to do with my job, dude. If I could have AI fucking
well, but your stuff it makes sense.
Yeah,
I'm not an artist.
Yeah, you're right.
Right. I've tried using AI in my day job just like as a joke, and it's fucking terrible at it. I'm like,
but
write a good joke, save my life.
My bigger concern, and again, this could spawn off into a different conversation, but my bigger concern is whether or not people are going to have the money to afford supporting anything after a certain point.
Yeah.
So, which
exactly.
if that reality comes into existence, which it's already on the path, but if that ever does reach that destination, then bigger companies are going to be fucked too, because nobody's going to have enough money to buy their cheap
100%.
shit either. So I guess they're fucked just as much as they are.
Yep.
Anyway, let's end it on Arnold's dick.
Before we go,
Arnold's dick. Luigi was right. Let's go.
Yeah, that thing was pretty impressive.
No, I had one more. Speaking of,
I had one more fact about Arnold's dick.
One more. It actually has 16
a different
abs.
dick. Edward.
Different dick.
Edward Furlong.
Different dick.
Same movie.
Came out of Michael Bihn's dick in the first movie.
That's
grew
true.
up to be Edward Furlong.
Oh yeah, we
This
also
is how
got to
I'm
do the
tying it
ratings
together. And then we got to get into the letterbox and stuff. Yes, but did you notice how Edward Furlong was significantly younger in certain sections of Terminator 2 because of how long it took to film?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
He apparently went through a massive growth spurt.
Yeah.
So they had to tweak his voice because his voice broke.
Oh, wow.
During filming.
Yeah. I know that there was that one point where, like, I think it's when he's like, whoa.
Yeah. His voice cracks a few times, which makes sense for his character, but apparently it like fully
That's
just
interesting.
Yeah, he went through puberty during filming.
That's cool.
And had a huge growth
there's
spurt.
times where it sounds like he's intentionally making it more high pitched, so that makes sense.
Yeah. Probably, yeah.
Like he's trying to sound like how it did before. I
no
guess.
people we make.
But apparently I think in the desert sequence, you can tell he's younger than in certain scenes earlier in the movie.
Really?
And there's one scene where he had grown so much that they had to have him stand in a hole next to Linda Hamilton, so he looked young enough to be her kid again.
I love.
How long did they shoot the movie?
A long time, dude. Like
Really?
I remember reading. I remember the special features or something they were talking about how long it took.
Really, I didn't know that.
That's I just
crazy.
love how many such and such had to stand in a hole in order to be in this movie. Stories there are.
Well, yeah, because they did that for the Orphan sequel, or they just put everybody else on platforms for that one, which is amazing. But yeah, the production took sufficiently long that Edward Furlong's growth caused the team to have to make certain adjustments during the shoot. So yeah, his voice began to break, had to be pitch adjusted in post. And for one scene shot so late in the production schedule, he had to stand in a hole in the ground in order to maintain continuity and his height difference with Linda Hamilton.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it feels like it was pitch corrected.
Yeah.
Well, there's just a couple parts where it seems like an unnatural pitch. Like it was high and it's like, man, like it just sounds a little off. There's one people we make. One scene in particular, it's funny because I remember months back, my brother sent me a clip of it because of he said it's just something that was always stuck with him, and it's a very subtle part is where when Arnold cuts his arm and Furlong goes to like help the guy's son, and you're like, hey, he goes, let's go to your room. It's just like super. And, for whatever reason, that's a subtle quote. And my brother said he just like for years, he'd be like, let's go to your room.
Let's go to your room, okay?
I feel like there's a ton of those for me in this movie.
Yeah.
Like there's so many little like one-liners that just like some of the shit that when he says affirmative, like I say affirmative all the fucking time.
Yeah.
There was something that the fucking psychiatrist, I can't remember what it was, but I was like, fuck, did I get that from this?
Model Citizen?
Like, that's one of them, but there was another one that was way more subtle. Like it wasn't even
I have detailed files.
She stabbed me in the knee with my pen a few weeks ago.
I said that a lot.
She's not my mother, Todd.
Yeah.
That's
I do forget that almost every line read Arnold has is an iconic, like,
oh yeah.
Was Hasta La Vista Baby really a thing before this movie? I don't think it was.
100%
This movie made it a thing.
Because I do not, all the shit that they said, this was the first time I'd ever heard anybody say them. And then everybody was saying them. Like, chill out,
dickwad.
Yeah.
Apparently, as I was going through more trivia, when the T-1000 imitates Sarah, that's her twin sister, Linda Hamilton's twin sister, Leslie.
Whoa, really?
Man, they were fucking twins.
That's crazy.
Damn. Twins as fuck. I did not notice.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Twins.
This movie had two sets of twins in it because the cop that he turns into, that was also a twin gag.
Oh,
really?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I didn't know.
First he becomes Floor, and then he becomes twin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just reminded me of a funny story of, I don't remember the actors' names. What's the dude that played Napoleon Dynamite? John something?
John Heater?
Yeah. And then dude that plays Pedro.
Yeah.
Both of those actors are twins.
Oh, really?
And apparently, I heard this. It was like a little snippet I saw, I think, on a YouTube short from a podcast where the two twin brothers ran into each other at like a Costco, and everybody in Costco thought it was Napoleon and Pedro.
That's wild.
That's fucking funny.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well,
what's the tomato meter?
Hold on. I'm apparently I don't
got
know
a rabbit hole over here.
I don't know what reality I just went into, but yet,
wow.
Like I go to read the reviews on T1 on Letterboxd, and like everybody's just like the most liked review is how can something be so fun yet so boring at the same time?
Wow. That's somebody who was half watching the movie, half looking at it.
Yeah, and then the other one is James Cameron writes dialogue as if he's never talked to another human being in his entire life. And like,
I want to know how old these people are.
Right. Well, this one's funny. Sarah Connor's terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day.
That's fair. That's 100% accurate. Can we talk about because we really didn't touch on Terminator 1 and in Creep-O-Rama fashion. We'll just do it now. Her, like, how they established who she is almost immediately in like 2 scenes. You're like, oh, I know exactly who this girl is, and like she's super cool and she's super fun, and like, oh Jesus, here we go, and like yeah, I know that we talked about the transformation, but like watching that one and seeing that beginning and then immediately watching this one, you're like, man, like,
yeah.
Whew.
Well, I think at the end, the Polaroid picture was so brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when the kid takes the Polaroid picture, oh, that's where fucking, that was brilliant.
Every Cameron is able to, whoever else helped him with the script as well, I'm sure. But like his concept of writing time travel and writing all these little things that then loop back on themselves, and then later on in the series will loop back on themselves as well, although I'm sure he wasn't thinking that far ahead. But like, it's so impressive. This movie really sets the bar for me for time travel shit, and then everything else afterwards I'm like, not as good as T2 though.
Yeah.
Except Lost. Yeah. Lost, I really like Lost's version of time travel. But that's another conversation for when we watched all of Lost.
Yes. Linda Hamilton turned down a part in another movie after hearing just the outline by James Cameron, and her only condition was that Sarah Connor's character has to have evolved. She didn't want to be meek and feeble anymore. She wanted to be crazy.
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah. So that's why she changed so much.
Pretty accurate.
But then this one also, fun timing for when we're recording this episode. Obviously, it's going to go out after the fact, but the scene where he reboots after being shut down by the T-1000 was not in the script and was added during editing because James Cameron felt that the audience would not understand how he returned to deliver the final blow to the T-1000. And so, according to Schwarzenegger's book, Cameron called him while he was visiting his friend Bruce Willis for Christmas and said, I need you to come back and shoot this very crucial scene. And so Schwarzenegger canceled his plans with Bruce Willis and went back to film the scene. So the scene where the Terminator pulls the metal rod out was actually shot on Christmas Day.
Oh, wow.
That's nice.
Cool. Merry fucking Christmas.
Would you look at that?
Yeah. That's so fun. Yeah,
what if he just pulled it out? He was like, Merry Christmas.
That we'd have a fucking iconic Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like robots. I like the 80s. I like the word fuck. This film didn't disappoint.
Fair enough.
It is crazy how R-rated it is, and it was still so popular with kids with so many toys and shit. Like, you don't really see that anymore.
No, that's fucking crazy.
Right.
But also, I haven't seen a movie that's come out that's as blockbustery as this in a long ass time either.
Yeah, it don't really happen anymore.
Yeah.
Outside of Marvel, which that kind of tapered off after Endgame. So
yeah,
like those were it. So our childhood's dead.
Our childhood's dead.
Hey, look, the new Superman trailer looks really good. I'm hopeful.
Yeah, it does look really good.
Oh yeah, that looks awesome.
Yeah,
excited for that one.
Yeah, me too.
I am genuinely hopeful, and not just for the movie, but for what it could possibly do for society.
Yeah, I think it would be. I think it's got. Yeah, dude. All right, let's hear these scores.
All right, the Terminator 100% tomato meter.
Fuck yeah!
On the first one.
Yep.
That's
Hell
impressive.
yeah. Okay.
See all those people fucking talking shit on fucking Letterboxd. Go fuck yourself. 100% tomato meter.
Yeah. So then 89% popcorn meter.
Oh, those
or audience
motherfuckers.
score.
Yeah, fucking assholes.
You got a 3.9 on Letterboxd.
Out of
out of
5 or 4?
5.
I feel like that could be higher.
That should be
Bump those
higher for
numbers
sure.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Terminator 2, Judgment Day, 91% tomato meter.
What? It's less than the first one?
That's
you know what?
90.
From critics, that makes sense from critics.
Yeah.
95% audience score.
Okay, there it is. There it is.
And a 4.3 on Letterboxd.
That's more like it.
I'm kind of surprised that wait, a 4.3, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised that the popcorn meter isn't 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
What's your fucking problem with Terminator 2, motherfucker?
First Terminator has an 8.1 on IMDb, and the second one has an 8.6. So that one makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
But I think they should still both be much higher.
Yeah, 10s.
Yeah.
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 Dude, I'm like really far down into these reviews, and not for the first Terminator, and not one person has mentioned Arnold's dick. Not one person.
This is your moment.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. You got one shot.
Five stars, mainly Arnold's dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spaghetti.
Yeah.
You got one shot. You must write a review about Arnold's dick.
Yeah. More like
I'm not
Terminator, am I
Eminem. Leave me
right?
alone.
What? 5 stars. Oh, so Derek,
Nice.
you gave T1 5 stars, but you gave T2 4.5.
What?
That's why I said at the beginning of the movie. Beginning of the episode.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
that's right.
Why was it half a star?
They're both 5-star movies, Derek. They're 5-star movies.
I don't know. This time around, I just enjoyed the first one more
No.
than I did the second one.
No dick.
No dick.
No dick. No
You
dick.
do get a
Second
little
one.
Robert Patrick dick.
A little bit.
You do?
Yeah.
Well, let's not say it. Let's not say a little Robert Patrick.
You do?
We get
I
a
didn't
little
see
bit
Robert
of
Patrick
Robert
dick.
Patrick. Dick.
I mean, you get. I'm sure it's not a little, but you get a peek of it when he first takes out the cop.
I did not see liquid metal dick nowhere in that movie.
No, it's human fleshy dick. He's not liquid metal mode. He goes
Which is
up,
actually funny when you think about it. You would think
he
that there'd
knocks
be
out
some
the
liquid metal
cop,
dick.
and he's naked. And then he squats down to pick up the cop's gun. And when he like squats down and turns, you see just like a peek.
You just see the tip touch the pavement.
just the tip.
I'm gonna have to investigate this.
Yeah.
I just watched the movie right before we recorded, and this is a movie. I was like, I gotta do 10 different fucking things. I just happened to sit on the remote. It rewound it and it zoomed in again.
Yeah. This is a common thing that keeps happening with us.
No, this is a movie that I was like, I have 10 things I need to do today, but I also want to watch this movie before we record, even though I've seen it 100 times.
Same.
You can't do other things when this movie's on.
No,
you just have to watch it.
Can't. Yeah.
So I got nothing else done today. I just sat on the couch and watched this movie, and it included a little bit of dick, but
A little bit of dick.
I definitely
Terminator.
so good.
A little bit of dick.
Occur to me whenever we started.
Good.
Occurred.
A little bit of dick. So good.
So good. It didn't occur to me when we started
There'd be
talking
so
about
much
these
dick in
episodes.
Terminator. Neither did I, dude. But I mean, they started it. You know, they started the whole franchise off with Arnold's giant fucking
literally the first fucking scene is Arnold's dick.
dick. Yeah. It's,
Like,
Are there any more dicks in this franchise?
I don't know, but
Guess
we're
we'll
about to
find
find out.
we're gonna find out. It's
It's
the only
so
reason we're
exciting.
watching these movies.
So excited.
Dick Quest.
Terminator 3 is also rated R.
So there might be some dick.
So
Oh,
potential
maybe.
for more dick. And then
That'd be a fun letterbox list.
that's right. So,
How many movies of Arnold
There's gotta be
Schwarzenegger's
so
dick
many
in
of
them?
them out there. That's got to already
That
exist.
many
No, just
movies
movies
have
with-
robot dick.
It definitely
Yeah.
didn't occur to me when we started like planning for this episode that we would be watching this pretty much on Christmas. And like, so I've been watching like actual Christmas movies and shit.
Right.
And I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta watch T2.
Yeah.
So me and Keith are
Yeah.
like, This is not a Christmas movie.
Yeah,
makes up with it for some dick.
Also,
there's a Christmas
it's a present. Yeah,
it is pretty wild. It's pretty wild for an 80s movie to have a dick and no boobs.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
That's pretty wild.
Two Linda Hamilton boobs in the first one.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. In the sex scene.
Yeah. But not in the second one.
No. Well,
but you have that
do.
I thought I made a great point.
You haven't seen the director's cut, have you?
The
director's cut has her having she fucks Kyle Reese like in the fucking psych ward. It's like a fucking like
in the second one
of Judgment Day.
Yeah, there's a weird director's
like
unrated
dreaming
cut.
or something.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
crazy.
It's real weird.
Does Michael come back? Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's very.
He was
weird.
apparently their first pick to play the T-1000. They thought it would be more fucked up.
That would have been fucking.
They had
sick,
designed
honestly.
the T-1000 to look like John's dad, but
Fuck,
they
that
abandoned
would have
that.
been good. That would have been really fucked up.
Have you guys? Have either one of you guys seen Part 4?
Salvation.
Yeah,
I think
I've
I've
seen all
only
of them.
seen the first 3.
Okay, never mind. I can't.
Okay.
I'll save
Yeah.
that for. I'll save that fact and tidbit for next episode.
It's PG-13, so there's no dick in it.
No dick.
But
No dick. Yeah,
But
I
there's
don't think
Christian
a dick
Bale in it.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't think there's. I don't think there's dick in Part 3 either.
There might be.
Sorry, everybody.
yeah, we got all the
I
good
know we
stuff
let
out of
you
the way
know.
early.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's why. See this, I knew it. Like going into these, I was like,
goes to
the
shit.
first episode of this is going to be great, and then the consequent episodes that we have to do on this aren't going to be as good. I just didn't think it was gonna be because of Dick.
Yeah,
It's always the case.
Apparently
this is
always
what
the
we've
case.
discovered. We're like, we thought it was when Cameron stepped away, but it was actually
When they stopped putting Dick in Terminator.
Yeah. I'm looking for so many spots to hit end, but it just keeps going.
I got it. Bring back
Speaking of
Dick
Dick.
in Terminator.
yeah.